and a very good morning to all. My name is Zabardast Khan Bangash. The purpose of recording this video is to create awareness among the people about the climate change, which perhaps is the biggest threat the humankind has ever faced. It's even more bigger than any disaster which has occurred in the history of humankind, and it will continue affecting our lives till the time we realize that we need to do something. People have already started doing certain things, but then we need to have more people, more resources committed to this, more political will, and above all, the climate change, since we all know that it will affect mostly the poor people on earth. So we need to protect the masses from that. Hence the idea of recording all these videos came to my mind. This in fact is the first of a series of videos that I'm going to produce regarding the climate change impacts. So let's begin with the first one. The first one is about the causes, the origin of climate change and the global warming. We all know that God has bestowed us with many good things, and perhaps the best of the things which humankind inherits is this planet of ours, which we also call as Mother Earth, because it nourishes us, it gives us whatever we want, and then it also protects us against many natural disasters. Unfortunately, we have disturbed all those things, hence we have more natural disasters coming to this. So let's go back to the Earth's protection system. The Earth protection system consists of some atmospheric layers. These layers are in fact the circles around the globe which protects us from many things from outside affecting the Earth. The first one is the troposphere, which starts from the Earth's surface and goes up to about 20 kilometers. The second one is the stratosphere, and then we have thermosphere and mesosphere and the nanosphere. But we need to remember that whatever activity is taking place on Earth, it remains restricted in between the nearest two layers, which is the troposphere and the stratosphere. There is a number of gases which remain suspended in between these two layers, the troposphere and the stratosphere. These gases actually are known as the greenhouse gases, and these gases protect us in many ways. Their primary function is to absorb and emit the radiant energy which is coming from the sun to the earth in shape of the infrared waves. These gases actually absorb some of these infrared energy, and the rest goes to the earth. The earth surface, the darker areas of the earth's surface, absorb some of that heat energy, and the lighter surface reflect or bounce back these energy waves back to the sun. So when these energy waves are reflected and go back to the earth's atmosphere, which consists of the greenhouse gases, absorb some of those gases, and then the rest of those gases are sent back to the space. Now, the energy which is absorbed by these gases helps us to maintain an average temperature of 15 degrees centigrade on our planet. This temperature is absolutely necessary to sustain all types of life which exist on this earth. In the absence of these gases, the earth's temperature would have been somewhere around minus 18 degrees Celsius. and it would have not been possible to sustain life in that temperature. So we need to remind ourselves that these gases are extremely important for us to survive on this planet. Now what happened is that till 1750 the concentration of carbon dioxide remained somewhere around 280 parts per million. Remember that these gases consist of carbon dioxide, the methane, nitrous oxide, and the chlorofluorocarbons are the fluorinated gases. These are the primary four gases which helps us to maintain the temperature on Earth. Now, as a result of the human activities after the industrial area of 1750, the percentage of these gases have been disturbed and disturbed radically. Like the temperature, the CO2 emissions percentage was somewhere around 280 parts per million before 1750. And then we had this industrial base expanded unproportionately on Earth, and then we started producing materials which gave rise to the consumerism. It also helped the defense industry to flourish, weapons making and other machines, so that the demand on this earth can be met. Now we know that for certain that these industries started initially with the fossil fuels, and this fossil fuels was primarily the oil-based industry and the coal-based industry and the natural gas. These are the three main fossil fuels which contributed towards increased emissions in the atmosphere. Now, somewhere around 1850, the University of Hawaii has established a lab in Mauna Loa. Mauna Loa is a place where they continuously measure these concentration of gases, and they also have a website on which they display this, update this information on a monthly basis. So you can have access to that information if you Google Mauna Loa Observatory. According to the recent measurements, recent updates, the concentration of CO2 in atmosphere has gone to 417 parts per million. Now remember that the WHO safe limit is 350 parts per million. Anything above that threshold is extremely dangerous to the humankind. There are many parts in this world, especially in Northern Europe and Northern America, South China, Southeastern China, India, where the concentration of these gases are many times more than the safe limits. And that is because they have established industrial base in those areas. Now if I give you an example of Japan, the Japanese established the industrial bases known as prefecture. A prefecture is a place where there are 50, 60, 100 industries in one place, and they are producing a large number of products for human consumption, which includes heavy locomotives, cars, domestic appliances, other consumer products for the world. So if you look from the space, you will clearly see that the CO2 emissions, CO2 concentration above these prefectures is highly thick. This actually goes up, these gases goes up, and they also thicken the atmospheric layers, which absorb these radiant energy going back to the space. So as a result, more heat is trapped, and that heat actually increases the surface temperature. So this is all about the global warming. One thing is clear, that unless these human activities, which are also known as the anthropogenic activities, we restrict these anthropogenic activities and restrict the use of fossil fuel, go for alternate energy, renewable options of energy, this CO2 emissions will keep on increasing, and we may not be able to control the temperature on the surface. I'll be discussing more about the negative impacts of highly destructive impacts of these emissions, this increase in temperature in the videos to come, the more videos to come. So for today, this is enough to understand the basics of the global warming and the greenhouse gas emissions. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe to my channel and also push the icon button so that you get the notification for the new videos. Thank you.